G'day, Bitcoin to 8 million anyone. Anthony Scaramucci shares an epic Bitcoin price prediction. We shall dive into Australia is set for a spot Bitcoin ETF later on this year. And a major Bitcoin whale is on the move. 230,000% ROI. Bitcoin is making moves. Let's dive straight in to the chart here. You can see that we are going up and to the right. We've got the rocket ship today. We've got an arrow pointing straight up, and you did see a massive leg up in the last 24 hours. We will come back to the numbers. But first, this gentle reminder, BlackRock, Wall Street, they are after Bitcoin. BlackRock Bitcoin ETF IBIT had positive inflows for 58 days straight since its launch. This has never been an ETF in history that has done this before. So Bitcoin to 8 million anyone. Anthony Scaramucci shares an epic Bitcoin price prediction. Founder of Skybridge Capital thinks halving is not priced in yet. Obviously, it cannot be because we are not at the halving yet. Expecting the Bitcoin price to go up to $170,000 in this cycle. Pretty interesting when we had Mark Yusko on 2 weeks back, and he was calling for $150,000 this cycle. Both from Wall Street, both large capital managers, and they have their price prediction fairly similar this cycle, $150,000, $170,000. Now, during his recent interview on CNBC, Scaramucci noted that the halving is not yet priced in, as the Bitcoin price has had a lot more to go. As for the price target, he expects Bitcoin valuation to rise as much as 10 times from the current level or more. I'm simply saying it should trade to half of the value of gold, which is a 6 to 8 to 10 times move from here. However, this move will not happen in the short term, he added. We'll look at where the gold market cap is, and we are still below silver again, even after this massive rally. Shout out to everyone watching live, watching the replay. If you can smash the like button, we will dive into a bit of a banter at the end. Now, carrying on. In April 2024, the Bitcoin market is experiencing significant growth with the introduction of exchange-traded funds, driving over 10 billion in new flows for Bitcoin. This surpassed the 10 bill milestone reached by the gold ETF, but in just 25% of the time. That's what happens in a digital age. Things move a whole lot faster. Bitcoin is superior to gold in every way, aside from the market cap, and it's TikTok next block, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a moment in time, a blip on the radar. Buy, stack, chill, hold this thing long term, 4, 8, 10 years indefinitely. We've got a message from Michael Saylor from a few years back saying exactly this we'll dive into. But despite Bitcoin's potential, Scaramucci acknowledges its volatility and cyclical nature. He predicts a potential price target of 170,000 for this cycle, driven by waves of demand and adoption. We've had a couple of people on this show that are calling for massive price targets. Luke Mikic, $64 million sooner rather than later. Obviously, that's not financial advice, but the trend of Bitcoin has been up and to the right forever, and it's continued, in my opinion, to be up and to the right forever. However, it is very volatile. Hold on, prepare, just buy, stack, and chill. Super, super easy. But we have had a rally over the weekend. Before we dive into the price, Australian asset manager Monochrome applies with the CBOE Australia for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Eyes decision by mid-year. Couple of things happening here. So the Australian-based Monochrome asset manager applied for the spot ETF with the global listing exchange CBOE Australia, the firm announced on Friday. If approved, and they work different here, we'll dive into that. If approved, the Monochrome Bitcoin ETF could be the first spot Bitcoin ETF in Australia, which allows direct holding of Bitcoin. Australia already has 2 ETF products or exchange traded products providing exposure to spot crypto assets on CBOE Australia, but they do not hold Bitcoin directly. If we've already got 2 products there, they should allow a third. We are going to find out by the middle of this year. In Australia, unlike the US, firms have first to get approval from the regulator, the Australian Security and Investment Commission, pretty much like the SEC, and then apply to an exchange for listing the product. Monochrome has already got approval from ASIC for its product. ASIC, all I think of is Aviation Security Identification Card, but it's the Australian Security and Investment Commission. We expect a decision from CBOE Australia about our Bitcoin ETF application before the middle of the year. said Jeff Yu, Monochrome Asset Management CEO. Now, this is what happens when you hold Bitcoin long term. You get massively wealthy in a very short time frame. This wallet is only 10 years old. It has been dormant, but they've had a 230,000% ROI in a decade. The dormant Bitcoin whale awakes as Bitcoin price heads towards 70K. We're going to see this. As the numbers move higher, we are going to see these whales wake up and sell and take some profit. It's their money. It's their choice. Let them do that. They've been diamond handing for the last 10 years. Nothing against them. Good on them for doing it. Have a 4, 8, 12, 10-year time plan, whatever it is. Buy it, hold it, stack, chill. So the resources inform that a Bitcoin investor who had accumulated a notable stash of nearly 4,300 Bitcoin a decade ago at an average price less than $30 has decided to move a small portion. Interestingly, this was the anonymous whale's first Bitcoin transfer, at least for this wallet, in just over 10 years. Friendly reminder to have multiple wallets. Never reuse the same wallet every time you put there, unless it's to hold a significant UTXO. They moved 246 Bitcoin worth 17 mil at yesterday's prices. Given their average purchasing price of $29.39 in 2013, this whale's ROI since then is a mind-blowing percentage of 230,000 Bitcoin. Obviously not financial advice, but probably a good idea just to get some in case it catches on. Buy, stack, chill. That's the name of the game that we are playing. Shout out to the Bitcoin Way, today's sponsor. We're going to dive into the numbers very shortly, but if you need help mastering your Bitcoin self-custody, these guys, the team here, have over 25 years in cybersecurity experience working in the industry. Safety and Moose, one of the most notable figures in Bitcoin, also endorses the Bitcoin Way. The Bitcoin Way is a service I've always wanted. If you've still got your Bitcoin on an exchange and you're not sleeping easy at night, reach out to the Bitcoin Way. Even if you've secured it, you've put it in a hardware wallet and it is in cold storage, is it air gapped? Have you done the best practices? If not, if you just have a little bit of a panic at night time, thinking that generational wealth is not as secure as it could be, I've made it super easy. The first 30 minutes is free. I've put a link at the bottom of the description. Reach out, say g'day. The team's helped me out a lot. They can help you set up a node, help you be your own bank, multi-sig, and so much more. Now, moving on, block height. 838,182. We are getting so close to the halving. It is looking like it's lining up on April 20th. We'll dive into that. The exchange rate, 69,379 sats per USD, 1,441. I like that, 1,441 for every $10. It's a great deal. Your fiat, it's inflating away. It's going down about 7% a year, if not more at the moment. Bitcoin's going up about 70% per year. 180% this year is my belief, or thereabouts. What one would you rather hold? So for every $10, you get 14,410 sats. For $10, pretty good deal. Block height, 9 minutes and 43 seconds. On average today is April 8 here in Australia. Dive into the Clark Moody dashboard. You can see we're at a $1.36 trillion market cap. The all-time high was 73,790. We're only 6.1% of the way to go. This could just happen like that. Overnight, don't fade Bitcoin. We have seen a move over the weekend. Do we get volatility? Of course. We're coming up to the halving. This is a massive event. This is a huge event. If you're not prepared for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 days to the downside, to be honest, you don't deserve it to the upside. So get ready, hold on, buy, stack, chill. It's super easy. It's all you need to do. All the dips, whether it's here, I'll bring up the green button. We've got a nice, big, beautiful green button today. Smash that, hit the buy. I'll be hitting buy as soon as we hop off this live stream. The only day I haven't bought was Sunday, yesterday. Did buy the 6 days previous. We'll be buying today, and we'll see what the rest of the week looks like. Get as much of the world's hardest, scarcest asset as you possibly can. Look, we're only 9.86% of the gold market cap today, and we're taking it over. We're going to dive into that shortly. April 20th, 2024, 4:20, 12 days, 8 hours, 28 minutes. Wow, this is a major catalyst. We've only got 1,818, 1818. How are the numbers today? Bitcoin is just pure math, and that is why this thing is going up forever. Laura, but only 1,800 blocks remaining. Absolutely amazing. So excited. If you haven't been here for a cycle before, welcome. Prepare for one of the most enjoyable roller coasters of your entire life. You're going to have these massive ups, these massive downs. It's going to be a glorious time, and it's going to throw your emotions all over the place, but just stay present, stay level, stay grounded, and just hold on for dear life. That is what HODL means. If you can do that, you're going to be laughing. So gold is 15.74 trillion. Bitcoin's at only 1.365. We have been playing around with silver a little bit lately. Maybe by the end of the week, maybe at the halving, maybe after the halving. We are coming for silver, then Google, then Amazon, then Saudi Aramco, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, and gold. It's just TikTok next block. It is just time, ladies and gentlemen. Change that time preference. 4 reasons why this Bitcoin halving may be different. We do see some legends in the chat. Real quick shout out to everyone here. Michael, Tame Chain Man, Johnny, Gargoyle, Mick Lovin, Stack and Chill. What a name. Do something, do anything. Good to see the legends in the house. Skins. And we will jump into everyone else. Sorry, Elaine, I've missed you there. Good morning to you. Portly. We'll jump into a banter at the end. If you haven't already, smash the like button. Anyway, let's carry on. There's so much to get through today. 4 reasons why this Bitcoin halving may be different. We're just going to smash through it. But look at the website, Investopedia. Patrick Bet David, PBD, is always referencing Investopedia. The mainstream like this website. And for them to come out with this, it's good. The mainstream narrative is shifting. But are any of you getting those calls? Hey, remember when you were telling me about Bitcoin 4 years ago and it was like $3,000? And you're like, yeah. Well, it's now like 70,000. Yeah. And do you own any? No, should I? Absolutely. That's how that conversation could go. But those conversations for me aren't really happening yet. They're starting to trickle in, but we really need the price to pump probably above 100K before you really start getting those phone calls. Anyway, this cycle, everything is different. Bitcoin is trading differently ahead of the halving. In the run-up to the prior halving iterations, Bitcoin has scaled new highs in the months following the reduction in the crypto assets rate of issuance. Recently, it reached a new all-time high before the current cycle's halving event for the first time. The spot Bitcoin ETFs have turbocharged the demand. The spot Bitcoin ETFs have fundamentally changed the game. The market dynamics for Bitcoin, according to Coinbase, who is a degenerate platform, stay away, Bitcoin only, or even if it's not Bitcoin only, probably don't, in my opinion, support Coinbase. If you are using them for whatever reason, buy it straight into self-custody, sleep easy at night. Please do not leave your Bitcoin on exchange. Make sure your seed is on steel, not on paper. These are $11 off Amazon. You can go to the Rolls-Royce seed, or it's what I use, or a capsule design, link in the description. But just a minimum, it's $11 or $20, whatever. Please put it on steel. This is generational wealth. It's not going to burn. It's not going to get wrecked if it rains and you get inundated if you flood. Please look after this. It's a serious game that you're playing. The spot Bitcoin ETFs have fundamentally changed the market dynamics for Bitcoin, according to Coinbase, and they did not exist at the time of prior halvings. Fewer Bitcoins available to trade. Bitcoin available to trade has been in decline since early 2020. Yeah, because there's all these laser-eyed psychopaths who buy, stack, and chill. Goes into cold storage, then deep cold storage, and it never sees the light of day again. Because when you can sell Bitcoin for $1 million, you won't have to sell it. A major shift from previous cycles. Uncertainty around the Fed's moves. Some funny things that we're going to dive into from the Fed later on this week. Another good reason to hit subscribe. Another key factor to consider during the upcoming halving is the contrast to Bitcoin's predictable declining rate of issuance in context of uncertainties around the US Federal Reserve loan its benchmark rates. However, unexpectedly robust economic data in the past few weeks has stoked the debate around rate cuts cutting too soon could revive inflation, but keeping rates high for too long could push the economy to the brink of a recession. It's an election year, not just in the US, but nearly everywhere around the world this year. 3 billion people are voting. We have not seen that before in human history. Are they going to want to go into a recession? No, they'll just change the definition like they did back in 2020. But even so, interest rates, my opinion, are going to come down towards Q3, which we've been saying for a long time on this channel, and money printing. And then Bitcoin price goes up and to the right. We have this perpetual bid from BlackRock, from Wall Street. We've got the halving coming up in 12 days on 420. Like, let's go. This is a cycle to behold all cycles. And even so, just get as much of it as possible and hold it for 2 or 3 cycles. So this is back from 2022, Michael Saylor, but this is a really good reminder what you need to do with Bitcoin. Some legends in the chat. We will dive into a banter shortly. Let's listen to the GOAT, the man, the myth.
So about this possible winter, are you really not feeling the cold?
Look, if you're going to invest in Bitcoin, a short time horizon is 4 years, a mid-time horizon is 10 years. The right time horizon is forever. You know, Warren Buffett said, you know, if you wouldn't hold it for 10 years, you shouldn't hold it for 10 minutes. So if you look at the course of 4 years, no one's ever lost money over 4 years holding Bitcoin. And if you look at, you know, our experience, we started buying it at $10,000, and now it's up by a factor of 4. So given the right time horizon, you're fine.
7. So
it's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is it makes it the most exciting, interesting thing in the financial universe everywhere in the world. And the curse is it can induce anxiety for people that have a short attention span or are focused on a narrow time horizon.
I think that's a pretty good way to be able to sum Bitcoin up. Buy, stack and chill. When in doubt, zoom out. Look at the next 10 years if you can hold it, and read the books or eat the bugs. Bitcoin Evangelism, this is a great one to be able to stand Bitcoin. If you've already been here for a while and you're just looking for another Bitcoin read, this is a fantastic one. I'd highly recommend. Hashtag not sponsored, have been in the past, is bringing up before then. It's such a good book. Read the books or eat the bugs. That's my message today. Now, Bitcoin pretty unlikely to revisit 50K price level, says an analyst. So who is this analyst? This is the crypto analyst, Dylan Lee Clear. Bitcoin's very own. This guy is an absolute Chad. Bitcoin hasn't dipped below 50K since late Feb, and it appears unlikely to return to that level soon. Why do I bring that up? Just to give investors peace of mind. Maybe it does. Great. It's a fantastic opportunity to smash the green buy button, hit buy, but fairly unlikely. Now, the frequency of Bitcoin reaching higher support price levels, as well as the lack of immediate froth in the derivatives market, suggests that its price is unlikely to retrace down to 50K anytime soon, according to a crypto analyst. Remember 2024, they are advertising this as the year of chaos. Do we get a cyber attack? Does something fundamental happen? Do we get another strain coming out, another pandemic? Potentially, those black swan events could bring Bitcoin all the way down, but by definition, a black swan event is not something that you hold on to. We're buying Bitcoin all week last week at prices pretty much where they are now, between 60 and 70,000. Started buying when it was about 20,000, dropped down to 3,600. Been buying everywhere in between, and I'll continue to keep buying. As well as BlackRock, I've got a perpetual bid on Bitcoin. So many people do. This is not something that you've paid that you get in to make quick money. Bitcoin is the money. You cash out and you're selling your fiat for the world's hardest asset. So senior analyst at digital asset fund UTXO Management. What a great name. Dylan Leclerc explained in an analyst note on April 7th that if Bitcoin rises back into the $70,000 to $75,000 price range, which we're at, it will put significant pressure on short positions. as we've consolidated, an increasing amount of short liquidations are building from 70 to 75K stated. If Bitcoin's price rises to 70K, approximately 174.17 million will be liquidated. Now, that was back on the 7th of April, which was yesterday. So people are going to start to get short squeezed. Be interesting to see what happens when Wall Street wakes up. Funny being in Australia a day ahead. Now, Checkmate, absolute legend. If you haven't already seen the video that Checkmate and I did, the podcast, absolutely sensational. Well worth your time watching there. Checkmate's my favorite analyst in the space. Got to meet him at Bitcoin Alive. Anyway, still my favorite chart of the cycle. Market is absorbing $100 million sell-side days, and the bears still haven't managed to 20% pull back. I'm going to repost this at Sean Clark 911 for everyone. SEANCLARKE. We haven't hit 20%, or we just touched it. This 22 plus cycle. It's like, see what we used to get? Like, this is nothing. This is what happens when Wall Street comes into the space. Obviously, don't hold the ETF, buy Bitcoin. That is the revolution here, allowing you to be a sovereign individual. But having Wall Street, it's a perpetual bid, and they're removing the volatility to the downside and maybe the massive volatility to the upside. I don't actually see this as a bad thing. Because if we have a massive up, we need to come down. Whereas if we're just stair-stepping up, it's more sustainable long-term. And maybe we go into a Bitcoin super cycle. Is that this cycle, another 4 years, 8 years? Who cares? It is coming. Hyper-Bitcoinization will be real. And I've been thinking about it already is. Like, we've got all these people banned from Bitcoin sessions over at the Halving party. And they're getting these little orange pills, and they're spreading the signal wide and far. It's just time until the rest of the world wakes up to the orange pill from Eyes Raise You BTC. Little bit of fun there, but shout out to BTC Session, shout out to Simply Bitcoin, shout out to all the Bitcoin educators in the space. Hit subscribe with all of them and push the Bitcoin signal, because Bitcoin is going to continually run up, and fiat's not doing well. It hasn't been doing well ever since its inception, but we're at the start of like this debt spiral. It's going to continue to erode everyone's purchasing power. Inflation is going to go up. Like, what happens when they start lowering interest rates and pumping money this year into the economy? It's going to be 2020 all over again. That's not good for people that aren't holding hard assets. So please share this video, share all the videos out there, get people to start reading the books. It's super important. And, you know, we're seeing digital IDs coming to Australia, CBDCs. We've seen what CBDCs have done in places like China. Maybe they're not as bad as that. That's fine. Rather be prepared. Even if they don't bring them out, Bitcoin's still the world's hardest asset, the best form of money that's ever existed. It's going to continue to keep going up and to the right forever. Let's share this, because what point is it living in our citadel, in utopia, in Galt's Gulch, if none of our friends and our family are there? It's not the world that I want to live in. So, Tony, this is a gentleman from the Bitcoin way. We can't expect everyone to get it. Feeble and weak minds will always fail, but it's up to the strong to continue leading by example until enough rise and become unconfiscatable as well. When you choose Bitcoin, you choose your own destiny. It is the only way forward. Let's share this message. Let's get the signal out there, please, and thank you. Now, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, is absolutely hilarious. Of course, they're doing a JP Morgan again. Yeah, we're not interested in Bitcoin. It's used for money laundering, and then we get this. Anyway, BlackRock adds Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, UBS as APs for the Bitcoin ETF. Authorized participants in ETFs are responsible for the creation and redemption process of the fund through which they create liquidity. Shout out to everyone that is watching the replay, that is watching live. You're all legends on this beautiful Monday morning, this glorious day. BlackRock has added Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, UBS, Citadel Securities, and ABN AMRO as authorized participants for the iShares Bitcoin Trust. This brings the total number of APs to 9. As they join Jane Street Capital, JP Morgan, Macquarie, and Virtu. Americas. Now, this is the funny part, if we can get it. APs are an integral part. Oh, come on, ads. CoinDesk, rubbish. Anyway, APs are an integral part of the ETF process. They help create liquidity by changing the supply of shares when there's a shortage or a surplus. Large ETFs typically have a dozen of APs, and in less than 3 months of existence, IBIT has become fairly sizable with nearly $18 billion in assets under management as of the close yesterday. Now, this is the funny part. And go figure, the participation at Goldman Sachs is particularly notable as its wealth management chief investment officer just this week, so last week, or for everyone in America, you're still in this week when it happened, said the bank believes that crypto has no value and feels no pressure to participate in the space, even as other TradeFi giants are taking major steps. Fight it and then go in and then make sizable gains from it and keep investors out of the loop. It's amazing how strong the misinformation, the media campaign has been, the propaganda against Bitcoin. I'm still having conversations with really high net worth individuals. They're like, what are you up to? Because I'm wearing the Bitcoin shirt, send the signal. I'm like, Bitcoin, same thing I do every day. They're like, that's dead. I'm like, no, it's not. That's a scam. No, it's not. It's used for money laundering. No, it's not. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you haven't bought any yet? And then it gets them to question themselves, and then you can get them onto reading the books so they don't have to eat the bugs. But just letting them know, fundamentally, it has changed. There is more signal out there. And we are winning. Sometimes it's a little bit harder. It's a battle that's going to continue to go on. All you need to do in the short term, buy, stack, and chill, and you're sweet, but just share it with as many people as possible and destroy those narratives. Uses so much energy. No, it doesn't. It is the single most sustainable industry in the world with over 54 or 56% renewable energy. It's a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the news with the fast facts. We're going to dive into a little bit of a banter really quickly and see how everyone is doing on this glorious day. If you want to hang around for that, absolutely awesome. If not, hit subscribe. If we vibe, we'll see you tomorrow with the news with the fast facts, same time for the rest of the week. I look forward to catching you then. Now, the legends in the chat. Good morning. It is good to see everyone here. Michael, g'day. Time Chain Man, g'day Savages. Happy Sunday, Sean, Johnny Midas. Shout out to Gargoyle. Yo, Mick Lovin. Hey, Sean, sup, plebers. Well, I like it. Mick Lovin, you always make me so happy, brother. Stack and chill. Hit the likes. What a guy. What a girl. I don't know. He, she, they, them. All of yous, everyone. Bitcoin is for everyone. It does not discriminate. I understand sometimes they come across a little bit too right-leaning. Sometimes the left is way too left-leaning, but if we can just find this happy place in the middle, that's great. Or if we just forget about left and right and we're just like, yes, as Nico Moran says, the party of orange. This is the party of freedom, hope, moving away from that nihilistic, asinine despair that they are pushing out. That's the joy of Bitcoin. So shout out to everyone. Hit the like button already. Do something, do anything. Gargoyles, Skins, good morning. Halving. Time Chain Mad is trolling. Halving, the Dublin you mean. So the halving is when there's 21 million Bitcoin and they cut in half to 10.5 million. If you ever hear that, that is the biggest load of codswallop that is ever existed on the face of the planet. But the Dublin you mean, yeah, maybe. Bitcoin fairly often does double after the halving. It's pretty crazy, but it's when they cut the amount of Bitcoin that comes out in a daily from 900 to about 450. It's incredible. Up, down, left, right, just stacked. Time Chain Man, the Quick Nina's here again. Highlander, Gargoyle, we are all Diamond Hands. We are all Satoshi. Everyone in the world is Satoshi, aside from Craig Wright. Isn't that a glorious thing to think about? Everyone legally is Satoshi. The only person that is illegally Satoshi is Craig Wright. Serves him right, Mr. Wright. Anyway, Time Chain Man, 4 years short term, 10-year mid. Grandchildren is long term. Check your time preference. Love it. If Sean was an altcoin, I would still stack Bitcoin. Yet stay away from altcoins. I went down that mind virus rabbit hole. It takes so long to clear the distortion, the noise from your mind. It's your money. It's your choice. If you want to be a degen, have fun. Like, you're allowed to do whatever you want. You work so hard for this. Bitcoin's the revolution, the store of value. It's the significant money where this is the greatest wealth transfer in human history. If you want to play around and gamble, have fun. But if you are that way inclined, please just make sure it's a small position and don't fade Bitcoin. Every cycle, all these new narratives come out and people get absolutely destroyed. Very few people make it. If you think it's the latest, greatest, it's going to 10x, 100x on Bitcoin, well, you only need 1% or 0.5% in there. 1% to double your Bitcoin stack. Yeah, it doesn't need to go all in and get wrecked. That's my opinion. Anyway, time chain man, stay away from altcoins like you're saying. Stack Bitcoin gargoyle. I heard banks were approaching miners for Bitcoin. Miners said, sorry, we're keeping them for ourselves. It has happened a lot. We don't know where they're buying OTC all the time and the impacts that has made. It looks like the miners are holding about $1.8 million in reserves, roughly. Maybe it's a little bit less. It's not going to last forever, and they're going to hold some in their treasury as well, as much as they can afford to do it. Obviously, they're getting ready for, like, they're preparing themselves. It's their reserve asset because what they're going to make is cut in half until the price doubles. Elaine, good to see you. G'day, Sean McLovin. Elaine, GTSY. What's GTSY mean? Getsy? McLovin, may you extrapolate on Getsy, whatever that means. Elaine, hey, to Time Chain 369, I am stacking mine. 369, Nikola Tesla's number of the universe. Absolutely love it, Time Chain man. Portly, body slam the like button. Appreciate it. Ladies and boys, Portly. McLovin, I trust math, skins and buying every day, regardless of the price. Time is the fire in which we all burn. Wow, that's deep gargle. I love it. Average Geo, just stacking here. Legend. Brian D, man, I was getting FOMO calls over the last few months, but none in the last few weeks. How epic, how interesting. Brian D Mint is the epic author here of Bitcoin Evangelism. Fantastic book. Shout out to you, Brian. Also, the marketing manager for Orange Pill app. Actually, Brian, we'll need to get you on. I've been talking to Brian to get a free subscription model for the Orange Pill app for one of the viewers. Not sponsored or paid in any way. Just thought it'd be fun. Brian's an absolute legend. Good friend of mine. Incredible book. Anyway, Brian, let's tee that up later on this week or next week if that flows, mate. 100K and the normies start to pay. Everyone gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve. Unfortunately, if you're not willing to put in the time, the effort to read the books, well, you're just going to pay a whole lot more. But everyone on the planet needs Bitcoin, in my opinion. Going to tell people I sold all my Bitcoin. Yeah, McLovin will go boating. I'm a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Dubstep kid. Well, I used to love dubstep back in the day. I'm not sure if I could really listen to too much of it anymore. It's funny, but wow, I used to love it. What an incredible nights in the clubs. Anyway, long time ago, many lives ago it feels like, but wow, that brings back some memories. And hey, I was the 69th person there for a second. Absolutely awesome. We're living in a simulation. Time chain man, what would you do if I told you you can buy $1 million for $69,000 today? I'd believe you, time chain man, because I understand where Bitcoin's heading. I've got like at $0 or $1 million. This is just me. You do you. I'd ride it all the way to $0, but it's not going to go to $0. Harry Dent's $200. Nah, not going to happen. But if it did, like how many psychos are just going to get in there and not sell out of spite? This is a line in the sand. This is, again, as Nico says, the party of orange, like choosing hope, freedom, empowerment for the everyday person. So if it's not going to $0, $1 million, yeah, for $69,000 today. And what's that like? So that's at like $105,000 Australian today, and so $1 million US is like 1.7 million for $100,000. That's 17x, ladies and gentlemen. G'day from Flyover USA. Jake Thomas in the house. Skins, I got workmates pulling me up, asking about Bitcoin at work. They all said I was crazy when I told them about it early on. Who's crazy now? It's amazing. You go down the rabbit hole, you can see so far out into the future. And yeah, bro, you just got lucky. Yeah, you didn't go through all those downs. Not losing, but when your stack changes significant amounts in a single day, like these $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 days to the downside are coming. If you're holding whatever it is, multiple sats, multiple coins, you're going to see a huge difference in your perceived wealth. But just remember, one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. It's just how we conceptualize the system at the moment because everyone is used to US dollars. Let's describe the first time I saw you about 7 or 8 months ago, Dubstep King. I appreciate that. I've not had enough time to sit down and read more about storage. I really do want to get my holy dubstep. It's not hard to get your Bitcoin off the exchange. Truly, it's not. BTC sessions on Bitcoin has got so many tutorials. Go slow, test everything. Seriously, if you need help, just have that free 30-minute call with the Bitcoin way. If not, maybe 10 hours of research like you've been here for so long. BTC sessions, just go nice and slow, but please, 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 please get that Bitcoin off the exchange. We saw so many failures over the last couple of years. It's going to continue to keep happening, because they can't keep up with the amount of demand for Bitcoin. So they rehypothecate your Bitcoin and then it all comes crashing down. Maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe you get lucky. Yes, Coinbase's been around for a while. Please don't do that. Whatever you can, whatever way you can reach out to me on X. BTC session is the best place for moving things into cold storage. Please, anyone listening to this message, please get your Bitcoin off the exchange. It's not a drill. It's not a joke. It's the single most important thing you could do. Like, aside from number go up, being a self-sovereign individual is like the use case of Bitcoin and holding on to that generational wealth. It's the first time you can actually own property without the fear of it being confiscated or taken away. Well, that's got my heart racing. Dubstep, please, whatever way to get yourself comfortable, please do it, and start that process today if you can. Thank you. Do or do not, there is no want. Take it off. Did you see Shift saying that gold is outperforming Bitcoin this quarter? Absolutely, I didn't. And someone said, what about since the start of the year or Q1? He's like, oh, that was so long ago. That doesn't count. Dude is desperate. Who the hell compares quarterly results after 3 to 4 days? Maybe he's ready for the glue factory. Yeah, the gold talk definitely ramped up the past little while, for sure. Gold has its place in the stack, but it's a tiny one for me. 100%. It's been a store of value for 4,000 years. It's going to continue to be a store of value. Just in every way, Bitcoin is superior. But if you want to hold gold, hold gold. It's not a bad idea. I don't hold gold. I sold all my gold and bought Bitcoin. I've got, I don't know, 5-6 ounces of silver for sentimental value left over from my wife's granddad, from my granddad as well. So for that, it's sentimental, but you know, it's a shiny rock. But it's done well. Gold more so over silver as a store of value. Bitcoin is the 900-pound gorilla in the room. This is old video. Yeah, it is from Michael Saylor, 2020. I'm chill, up, down, or sideways. Contact the Bitcoin Way if you need help getting off the exchange. And if you need help setting up air gap cold storage, they can also help you set up your own node. Skins, couldn't have said it better myself. Truly, if you need help, the Bitcoin Way is absolutely amazing. So many people have gone through off this channel. Every single person absolutely raves about it. Yes, it's a shill, but I'd be promoting it regardless. I believe these guys are the best people in the space to be able to help you store. Am I biased? Yes, I am, but I've also been around for a while. I thought I was doing some incredibly good stuff with my stack. They took it to the next level, so they work for me. I dare say they'll work for you too. Hey, Sean, I know this is a weird reason to trust someone, but you look a bit like a good friend of mine and your eyes are just like his, and I knew right then that you were genuine. I appreciate you. Dubstep, man, like, I appreciate you so much. Like, you know, when I was a young man growing up with the debauchery and everything. At that time, I had a really good time, and I wasn't the best person, but my whole life I've been chasing truth as much as possible, and it's been distorted, and I've been caught up in the noise so many times before, but especially since finding Bitcoin, to be able to pursue that line of truth, of light, to live in line with light, like that's my mission in life, just to be as truthful and be the best person that I can be. And I believe Bitcoin plays a massive role with that for everyone, for humanity. Like Bitcoin was this thing that it was just an idea that we needed right now, and its time's come. So I appreciate that, and I do my very best. And sometimes, you know, like I was saying earlier, like I may go too far to the right or even too far to the left. I don't sort of see that happening, but being too far to the right, I'll try come back as quick as I can. It's really a shout out to my wife, who's really helped me really focus in more and more. And I'm sure I get things wrong, and I apologize and check me on it. And I'll endeavor to always continually to do better. But Dubstep, man, thank you so much. That means a lot. I'm just a normal guy and doing my very best to be able to do the best for my friends and family. And I want everyone else to be able to know there's this opportunity that is Bitcoin out there when so much is going on around the world. I waited my whole life, crypto creeper, for a way to beat the bankers' greedy BS. I don't need to pay to heat their swimming pool in winter. Bitcoin rules. Yo, Austin in the house. You into any alts? Not at all. Once upon a time I was, and that mind virus, it took so long to get out. Even that word, like, feels like there's this little like earworm or brain hook that gets in there, and it's so scary. I've got a really, really great friend that's into altcoins, and it's a little bit hard to talk to him because I just don't want to have any of that seep into my consciousness, unfortunately. Baseline Benny, say no to narcotics and altcoins. Jim Cramer is an S-coin. Say no to S-coins. MSN, AK, mainstream information. Shout out to everyone watching live. Mr. Booth talks of, sorry I'm missing a couple of names, Dan and Steele. Mr. Booth talks on how his home would cost 400 Bitcoin one cycle ago. This cycle it costs 40, next cycle will cost 4 Bitcoin. This shows how Bitcoin is replacing everything. Hey, you're still alive. I grabbed onto the end of it. Good to see you, Dave Hughes. Sorry we missed you on Friday, mate. I missed you. Crypto Storm, evening from Ireland. Tony Love, eat meat, love your woman, and stack sats. It's steak, sand, sun, and sex. And sats, do we say sats? But all the S's, it's good. Enjoy Bitcoin. There's so many more comments today. The sun is rising. I need to get some sun and some sand and maybe some steak and sex. Anyway, stack some sats. That's first what I'm going to do before I get to the beach. You do you, I'll do me. Have a beautiful, blessed day. You're all glorious. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow. Shout out to everyone. Please take your Bitcoin off the exchange. Start that process today. Be blessed. Peace.